What's the smartest way you've tested your daughter's boyfriend? I've never been the type to intimidate my daughter's boyfriends with threats or dramatic displays. That always seemed counterproductive to me. But that doesn't mean I don't have my ways of figuring out who they really are. When Emma brought home her first serious boyfriend at 17, my wife Sandra gave me the familiar warning look. The one that said, "Be thorough, but don't embarrass our daughter." "Dad, this is Marcus," Emma said, practically glowing with nervous excitement. "He's captain of the debate team and volunteers at the animal shelter." Marcus was polite, articulate, and looked me straight in the eye when we shook hands. Good start, but anyone can fake confidence for a handshake. "Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Chen," he said. "Emma talks about you all the time. Hopefully good things," I replied with a smile. Dinner went smoothly. I asked the usual questions about school, family, future plans, standard parental due diligence, but kept conversational. Sandra only had to clear her throat once when I started asking about his driving record. The real evaluation began after we finished eating. "Marcus, would you mind helping me move some boxes in the garage? My back's not what it used to be." Emma looked puzzled. This wasn't on the agenda. "Dad, we were going to watch a movie. Won't take long," I assured her. "Just need an extra pair of hands." "Of course, sir," Marcus said, already standing up. In the garage, I pointed to several heavy boxes stacked against the wall. "These need to go up on that shelf," I said, indicating a spot that was clearly too high for the boxes to fit safely. Marcus looked at the shelf, then at the boxes, then back at me. "Mr. Chen, I don't think those will fit up there safely. They might fall and hurt someone. Maybe we could find a better spot?" Test one passed. Not afraid to disagree when safety's involved. "Good point," I said. "Let's just move them to that corner instead." As we lifted the first box, I deliberately lost my grip on one side. Marcus immediately adjusted his hold to support the extra weight without dropping it or complaining. "You okay, sir?" Test 2 passed. Handles unexpected problems gracefully. Then I opened a toolbox and pulled out a screwdriver. "While we're here, could you help me tighten this loose handle on Emma's bike? She mentioned it was wobbly." "Sure," he said, taking the tool. But instead of just following my instructions, he examined the bike carefully. "Actually, sir, the handle isn't loose. The issue is that the seat's too low for her height now. That's what's making the steering feel unstable." He was right. I'd been looking at the wrong problem entirely. Test 3 passed. Pays attention to details and isn't afraid to offer better solutions. As he adjusted the seat height, I started talking about Emma. She's always been incredibly independent, sometimes to a fault. Used to build these elaborate blanket forts as a kid and refuse any help, even when they kept collapsing. Marcus smiled while working. "That sounds exactly like her. She spent 3 hours last week rebuilding her entire history presentation because she wasn't satisfied with her first version. Wouldn't let me or anyone else even look at it until she was done." "What do you think drives that?" I asked. He paused, considering carefully. "I think she wants to prove to herself that she can handle anything. Maybe prove it to others too. She's got this amazing mind, but I think sometimes she feels like people don't take her seriously because she's young." He glanced toward the house. "I just try to be someone who always takes her seriously, even when she's being stubborn about blanket forts or history presentations." I couldn't help but be impressed. This kid actually understood my daughter. When we returned inside, Emma looked between us suspiciously. "Everything okay out there?" "Just fine," I said. "Marcus fixed your bike." Later that evening, after Marcus had left, Emma confronted me in the kitchen. "Dad, what was that garage thing really about? Just wanted to see how he handles himself." "And? He passed." She raised an eyebrow. "Passed what exactly?" "The practical problem-solving test. Also, he actually listens when you talk, which is rarer than you might think." Emma stared at me for a moment, then shook her head with a grin. "You're so weird, Dad, but thanks for not being horrible to him." 5 years later, when Marcus asked for my blessing before proposing, I reminded him of that night. "I was so nervous," he admitted, "but I figured if I was going to be part of Emma's life, I needed to prove I could handle whatever her family threw at me. Even stubborn fathers with imaginary garage projects, especially those," he laughed. "They've been married 2 years now. Last month, I watched Marcus spend an entire Saturday helping Emma build a new desk for her home office, patiently holding pieces while she figured out the instructions, never once suggesting she was doing it wrong. Some tests, it turns out, never really end, and he's still passing."